Hey, this is watch out, Guinea. This is Andrew Smart coming back to home to discuss with Eric the situation. And it appears nothing at all has changed. Stay by. There's the one causing the main drama. Morning, Eric. I hope you're prepared to have sensible discussions this morning. Are you prepared to have sensible discussions about what's happened so far or not? Are you prepared to have sensible discussions about what's happened so far or not?
About your...
What's happened so far?
I imagine that there are properly constituted forums for this in front of witnesses and with appropriate protection if necessary. If that's the case, most certainly. Most certainly.
Well, you've kicked me out of the house without any legal reason or notice.
No. That's your story. I would like the opportunity to tell my story.
Well, the lawyer sent you a letter and you've ignored that. No. You've ignored all the telephone calls that I've made to you. You've ignored all the texts that I've sent to you. So what's your proposal to sort it out then?
I have not received any letter from any lawyer.
My lawyer will make a statutory declaration that he sent a letter to this address. And I'll get him to send another one by registered mail if that's the games you want to play, Eric.
No, as I said, I imagine, and I don't know, I'm going to stand in the shade anyway, there's no point in frying myself.
Well, you're pretty fried as it is mentally.
Well,
you can't even have a sensible conversation about how this issue is going to be resolved. You've ignored letters. You're now telling lies about not receiving the letter, and that's causing a lot of difficulties. You obviously don't have mental capacity to sort it out, and these two next door couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery.
I say this, if you want to play the terror game, you better have done three things. First of all, you better have completed the course of study. Second, submitted all the assignments.
Eric,
thirdly,
you're rambling on about things that are totally irrelevant. How is that relevant to me being unlawfully thrown out of the house?
Look, if you want to play mind games,
well, you think that's funny, do you? Dude, I still live here. If I have to, I'll get a sledgehammer and go through that door. And there's nothing legally you can do about that. Want to have it? Well, I've made it clear to you, you need to sort the issue out. If everything's not packed up out of that car and back in that room within 24 hours, I'm going to start legal action against you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I will. You'll be looking...
I look forward to, look, I look forward to anything that you can bring on. See,
That's what you say now.
All your career, you've loved. See, you walk away.
I'm still videoing. I don't want to hear your shit. You're rambling on about stuff that's totally irrelevant.
No.
You're mentally not all there, and I'm great that I'm capturing how mentally not all there you are on camera.
Well, I won't tell you what anyway.
Well, you've just rambled and dribbled absolute shit for 15 minutes or so, Eric. You're incoherent and rambling. And I said, I want all my stuff packed back into that room in 24 hours or I'm suing you. So what's your solution to the problem, Eric, other than to stand there grinning like the mental incompetent that you are?
I said, I believe, well, I would want a properly constituted forum. I don't mind what it is or where it is. Properly constituted forum in front of witnesses and perhaps with appropriate protection if necessary.
Witnesses to what?
A what?
Witnesses to what, Eric?
Witnesses to what we say. Because I have my story to tell. I prefer to tell it, as I say, in a properly constituted form, in front of witnesses. Without reference to notes, although I do have some very interesting written material to show, which I think will stand me in good stead. But I am prepared to stand on my hind legs and tell my story. Are you ready to tell yours?
I've told my story clearly. I unlawfully had my property moved. Someone's committed theft and burglary on a premises that I rent the room and backyard.
No, you don't rent. You don't rent.
Yes, I do rent.
You were never, other than...
I asked you numerous times, am I renting, boarding, whatever, and you said whatever you want it to be. So I said, fine, I'm renting.
I presume you have a properly, formally written witness, not only witnessed...
It's a verbal agreement, Eric, and there was never a problem with that.
No. My word, well, I have my story, as I say, I'll reserve it for a properly constituted forum. Not out in their front yard, in front of where there are no witnesses.
There's a camera running, Eric.
By the way, the police were very interested in the video that you took of you serving notice. particularly the bit where you threatened violence against 2 of the inhabitants.
Well, there was a sledgehammer and baseball bat inside the door, and I felt threatened at that point, and I had to regain control of the situation.
Unfortunately, there's no evidence of that anywhere. That's your word against theirs. But as I say, no, in front of
But how is that relevant to throwing me out of the house unlawfully?
No. Let me tell you my... On the Saturday, 9th of January, 7 a.m. in the morning, I said to you, I have bad news for you, it's time to move out. I debated whether to say move on or move out. I decided move out was the appropriate term. That left you in no doubt what was.
And I told you I needed 60 days, and you agreed to that.
No, I did not. You said, your exact words were, no fault, 60 days. I had no idea what you were referring to because we had no formal agreement. You were never, other than a guest in our household. A long-termish guest, maybe. Oh yes, record it all, please.
If I'm a guest, I wouldn't have been paying $150 a week for use of the backyard and the room.
No,
but go on making a fool of yourself, please.
You weren't paying anything. I don't deny that you gave me money. You gave it out of gratuity. It was never expected. It was certainly never required. I never asked you for it. I never chased you for it. But when we met, I was responding to your advert in an online.
I never placed any advert. I got here through a mutual friend that I met at a party. So
It doesn't matter
your rubbish about an online ad is not going to be provable because it never existed.
Anyway, I have other things to do. I will reserve my energy for the proper forum. But believe me, if you want to play mind games, you came to the right address, mate.
I never wanted to play mind games. I just wanted to work and come and go and do my thing. You're the one that said mind games were normal. When I said I wasn't happy with Sam playing mind games, you even went on the radio to try and prove your point that mind games were normal. You're the one that wants to play the mind games, Eric, not me.
It all starts in the mind. That's where it starts. That's where it has to finish. Because it all comes down to who can tell the better story.
Well, who can back up the proof?
I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to a storytelling contest.
Is that how you see it? A storytelling contest?
That's all there is. That's all there is. But don't ever doubt my self-confidence.
I just doubt your mental capacity.
Oh,
You're obviously a very self-proud, overconfident fool. I've got no doubt about that.
Well, see, I have no fears.
No, you're just about at the end of your life. There's nothing anyone can do to you really that's going to take anything away from you because you're nearly at the end. So obviously you don't care.
Well, that's beyond that was determined over 70 years ago with my parents. My parents gave me the best genes they were capable of. I might have wished for better, but they gave me the best they had. And there's only 2 things in this life that will do you any good, whatever. They are good luck and good genes. If you've got neither, then...
Well, I again repeat my legal ultimatum that everything that was removed from the room be put back in the room or legal action is about to commence. The lawyer has sent you a letter and he was perfectly happy to make a stat dec that he did send the letter, and he's also now going to be sending another one by registered mail asking you why you didn't respond to my lawyer's request for any sort of explanation as to what's going on.
Why should I respond to your...
Well, that's the way it is, Eric, and I'm taking my hose as well.
And by the way, that dog is not welcome back here under any circumstances. If it comes back here, I'll have it destroyed as a public menace.
You can't get anything destroyed, Eric, and you've already tried to cause its loss by calling the RSPCA before I had a chance to come back and pick it up. The dog's always been part of the agreement, and if you touch my dog, there will be very serious repercussions, as for anyone that touches my dog.
I won't touch it. That's the problem. It's untouchable. When it excludes me, my very significant part of my property, a part which
I said I was perfectly happy to leave it in the yard out the side where it always had been. Banjo was the one that built all that for his dog, and you were the ones that told me to put my dog out there. I always kept it in the yard out the side up until someone else built that yard out there and I was told to use it.
I'm always willing to experiment, to try something. But when it became unworkable, it became unworkable. When that savage animal excluded me from an important part of my property, from typically 5 p.m. till...
Well, how do you explain me keeping it in a yard out the side for most of the time it was here and you telling me to put it out in the yard, and now you're complaining after I put it out in the yard after I was just doing what I was told?
As I said, I'm willing to experiment, to try it until it works unworkable.
Well, it certainly wasn't mentioned at the time, and now you're trying to bring it up. You're clutching at straws, Eric.
No.
Like I said, pull your head together, put my stuff back in the room within 24 hours or legal action is about to begin.
You have an inventory of your stuff, by the way? A full inventory, this photograph?
Of course I do.
Where? An inventory?
Photographic documentary. Left you with the one hose that is yours. You look at your fat ugly lesbian hoe. Got 24 hours to put everything back in the room, Eric. I'll be back for you.